Welcome back, everyone. Back on not 13 ABC Action News, but it is Conklin and Company, and with the new chief meteorologist, Jay Burschback of 13 ABC.
Thank you.
Congratulations on that new post, Jay.
Yeah, big step. I'm very happy to be here, Lee.
As we salute Stan, who's, as I said, riding off into the sunset after a well-deserved retirement. And Stan will be on Jeff's show, Roundtable, coming up a little bit later on.
Correct.
So behind the scenes with Jay Burschback, some things you may not know about Jay. One, talk about your background. I know the most important thing is that Jay's a big Michigan fan because...
Yep. Alumnus, so I kind of have to be, but I tell all the kids I go visit for school visits, Michigan has a great meteorology program, and so does Ohio State, and that tends to calm them down.
Diffuse everybody a little bit?
Sure, but we both grew up in Michigan, near Detroit.
Right.
Went to the University of Michigan, started my career up at a kind of a radio station / forecasting company in Flint. Went to Lansing, Michigan, a lovely town called Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah, I've all heard of it.
Larry Bird fans. Indiana State was there for 2 years. And I've been here, if you can believe it, almost 14 years
I know, it
now.
really is hard to believe.
Yeah, it's gone so fast, and I've raised a family. I've got 2 boys, 8 and 10, a wife and a house and a family and a mortgage, all the good stuff here. But we love it here, so we're very happy that we're staying.
Yeah, and we're happy that you've gotten this new job, this promotion as chief meteorologist. Now in the community, people saying how well deserved it is.
Well, thank you. Thank you,
and we're really glad to have you. So let's talk about the way things have changed. For instance, Jay, from when you were working in Lansing and Terre Haute, you come here, you know, computers. I mean, wow. I mean,
it is. I mean, look at the storm lab alone. You think back in the day, it used to be a board of some kind, either magnets or they draw on it, and we've gone from that to the 21st century, literally here. Behind us, we have the live action cam networks.
Let's do a tour of the storm lab.
Okay, come with us. Come with us. But behind you here, we have the downtown live action cam. Things we didn't have. Now we have eyes in the sky. So when storms roll in, Lee, when there's damage, when we see, let's say, the rain begin, it gives us confirmation. With all of our other tools, it's like having a set of eyes up there all the time in high definition, so ground truth, if you will. Predictor, you hear about this all the time, these computer models. This is one big change. I remember in college, these are computer models that simulate the forecast and try to predict the future. A little bit of guesswork. It's an educated guess with physics and mathematics, calculus, things like that. But what this does is it slices the atmosphere into layers. Think if you have a big wedding cake, and you took the smallest layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon layer, so a 3-dimensional view of the atmosphere, which it treats like a fluid, because air does move a lot like water. It flows and it spins and it eddies and does all those things.
I feel like I'm back in science class.
But back when I was in college, the computer model we had, there were only like 1 or 2, had I think 6 different levels. So you're slicing the cake in 6 spots. Predictor now is somewhere between 250 and 500 slices. So that's just more of a definition factor where you take more information, more data, you compute that.
How many computer models now? You mentioned one early.
This is just one. With the government and everybody else, probably up near 20.
Okay, and this is what a lot of people watch for. Okay, I've got something going on Saturday morning, and we want to see that predictor run all the way. So
correct, and it does update every 3 hours. So that's why sometimes you'll hear us say, you know, things have slowed down or sped up, or it's gotten a little heavier or lighter. Because we truly are updating the data every 3 hours.
Okay,
cool. A really great tool.
Okay.
We have
Viper HD.
Viper HD does a whole bunch of things. Right now it's showing the radar picture here. We also have access to 5 live radars, so when you see those sweeps going around, kind of crossing over each other, that's what Viper can do. And the heart of our system, as you know, is a live Doppler 13,000 HD. The area is only a live radar, so we have...
I've heard some promotions on about our live Doppler, but truly it is the only live local radar.
It is, and the advantage there, I know we can talk about it all we want, but to have control of it, to point it where you want, to tilt it, to zoom in, you can increase the power, decrease the power, see rotation locally. Other radars, if you imagine their beams as they come at us with the curvature of the Earth, they're way up high in the sky. Our radar's lower to see that rotation before anybody else, so that's why it's such a big deal.
Talk about the job itself. You've got those times middle of the summer when it's 85 days a week. You come in, and I got to believe that there's a program, you put that forecast together, not so tough, but the difficulty of severe weather, Jay.
Severe weather and snow events, too. You think of winter severe weather, ice storms. It is. You think about the people it's going to affect, the kids in school, your grandma that has a doctor's appointment today. Can she drive there safely? You think about the utilities, power lines going down. You think about the pipes freezing in people's houses. So it is a day-to-day thing, but those severe days where life really is threatened by the weather, second by second, we do kind of come in with a heightened alert, you know, a little more, let's say, urgency to kind of figure out what's going to happen when and get on as quickly as we can. And be as clear as we can too. You can we can talk about mumbo jumbo on TV and use big words, which I've done a little bit here today. But to keep it simple, let you know where the storm is, where it's going, and what to do to stay safe. That's what we think about.
So you have sometimes when there is levity in this job because you're the weatherman,
right?
But the weather's good. But then you talk about the absolute serious situations. I want to go back to the November outbreak of what, 02? 02?
It was Van Wert.
Van Wert?
Yeah,
right?
Must have been 02.
And of course Lake Township,
sure,
a couple of years ago.
Right. Yeah, June.
And those instances, and you talked about a heightened state of alert. When you're out here with Stan or Bill or Kristen or Susan Ware, I mean, when you're all working together, and what goes into that?
A lot of stuff you don't see at home. When we step off camera, obviously we don't just disappear.
Right.
But there are computers. We have 14 computers. So with that team in place, we kind of, if you imagine the weather team as you know, dealing with information like a pizza pie or a pie, we divide that up. And each person has their own job. I might be doing the Doppler radar and zooming into neighborhoods and showing the hook echoes and rotation. Stan might be talking about watches and warnings. Kristen might be updating Facebook and Twitter. So it's just you think of any team for any kind of event, whether it's work or sports. If everyone does their job really well, and we all put it together into a nice package, it comes across to the viewer as something useful they can use and hopefully feel safe.
Yeah. When you mentioned how things have changed, you just talked about Facebook and Twitter. There's another couple of elements to it. Let's go back. Do we have some video of Stan back in the day? Here we go. And you mentioned the old boards.
Changed. Yes. Look at those graphics too.
You know, probably was that 13 Strong Days? I understand with Willard Scott there.
Got that fancy hat. You know where that is, right?
It's Portside.
Yes.
Right.
I think so. I think so. So he was on national TV a couple times, CNN. And of course, there's the old news team. Yeah. You probably recognize.
Yeah, a couple of familiar faces there, right?
Definitely. Yeah. Right. But Stan, I mean, look at him back then, look at him now. Still that calm presence, and that's something that over the last 13, 14 years, working with him when we've been working together, really have helped me out to advance to where I am now. So Stan, we're going to miss you. I love that suit there.
Yeah, I was just saying technology and clothing have evolved. And there we go.
CNN.
Back at CNN. When
talking about Europe.
Filled in. Every once in a while on the weekends, I think, at CNN.
Yeah.
So,
but back then, you think about it, Lee, there was just, you go on TV at 6 o'clock and you're done.
Right.
6 o'clock news.
Right.
Now we have more updates. We have our digital channel, Facebook, Twitter. So there's more to the job now, which Stan has done for the last several years, which he probably couldn't even have fathomed back in the day when he began.
Well, now it is up to you. We're glad to have you on board.
Great.
Making that, and you get more sleep now, Jay.
I can sleep and I don't set the alarm anymore. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a good thing.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back in just a minute. Conklin & Company continues right after this.